What's up? What's good? It's Hash. We're back for another video. Clearly, I got my old 3D printer up and running again. This part, the little part, took a couple weeks to get here from mainland China. It's been about a year or maybe 2 years since I've had this thing running, and it's doing just fine. Anyways, we are gonna make a little video on 7 tips to help you get started on flying these micro quadcopter FPV drones. First things first, you really don't need to be worrying about getting yourself a really expensive pair of analog goggles with the analog receiver and doing all sorts of research on what antenna is best. You really need to preoccupy yourself with getting this, a controller, and then a computer, although it doesn't have to be a big ass one like this, but a computer. Download Steam, and for micro drones, you type liftoff micro drones, that second option right there. And look, for Christmas it's on sale, 11 bucks, guys. Come on, very cheap. And obviously once you've got the game, you go ahead and run it and get in the game. Okay, once you've gotten the game, obviously you get acquainted. Okay, everybody's played video games hopefully, and if not, just try and figure it out. Get into a level, you know, something like this, and get yourself into obviously, you know, get yourself acquainted with the space and stuff of the level. But once you're acquainted, make a route. Okay, make a route for yourself. So we've got this bench right here. Okay, and I'm gonna show you my route, and this is my favorite map because it's the size of a house, of a small house like the one I live in. Boom. All right, we go around through, and we go through the car. It's not going to be the best, my first flight of the day. Under the table. Then we go through the weightlifting rack, underneath the ping pong table that way. You go through the table, you spin back around, and then watch, you do like one of those, I forget, like reverse split S. Okay, so you fuck up, right? But you stick to the route. Okay, reset, go, boom. All right, that was the goal, right? You go in through there, and you spin back around through this. Do one more loopy, go through the window. There's a diamond, you go through the diamond, right? And then there's a door right here. You go through the door, down the stairs, go back around through this blue, I don't know, staircase, mobile staircase thing. You go through, you go through any one of these little shelf thingies. Go underneath the the plaster or the drywall. Boom, you go up and you do a backflip, and then boom, you're pretty much reset. Or something extra I like to add on is you go out through the basement window, you go through here, and then you go do a right hand yaw turn around through the green screen. You do a little reverse split S through the beam there, you go back around, then you're good to land. Make a route, find a level that you think is your favorite, make a route, do something like what I just showed you, and practice that same route over and over and over, okay? And what it gets you into, okay, now this is very important for FPV pilots to understand, okay? And if anybody is an FPV pilot, they understand, okay? And it's flow, right? Now, what is flow? It's just the state of mind where you're able to just kind of fly, okay, like a bee, or as if like you're a creature that has been flying its whole life. Okay, that's what flow is. Practicing the same route, boom, going over and over and over, nailing it every time, kind of like skating or maybe other sports or whatever. You're gonna want to nail that same route, and once you've got it like memorized, you're gonna be able to kind of intuitively bake it into your nervous system such that while you fly, you will react in a way that is gonna allow your mind to integrate with a state of mind that's very peaceful. Okay, what did I just say? I'm a lazy son of a bitch. So what we're gonna do is set up this FPV monitor, the thing there. We'll hit search. This next tip is gonna focus on the different modes. Okay, there's different modes to flying. Okay, modes. We got horizon, we got angle, and then there's acro. All right, boom, here we are. So these are the different modes. Hopefully that appears all right on the camera. Here we go. So you should be able to see, at least in the corner, there's different modes, right? And how do these different modes react? Okay, and air, by the way, means acro. Air equals acro. All right, in horizon mode, the drone acts a little bit like a toy helicopter. Up and down is vertical. Forward and back will bring you forward and back, but you see, it keeps the horizon in focus. I can't fly in horizon for shit, hang on. Now, angle mode, it allows the quad to fly pretty much the same as horizon, but let me see if I can't just go ahead and just have it do. Okay, it's not acting very well because it's hard to do in a confined space. But once you push the sticks past a certain degree, you are going to be able to kind of rotate it further, so that the quad actually decides to do some flips, you know, or rolls, right? But then obviously, last but not least, we've got acro mode, where you're able to fly FPV, you know, through the camera angle and such. So, yep, that's tip number 2 or 3. Which one are we on? All right, this is tip number 3. Welcome to my laboratory where safety is number 1 priority. Shout out if you know what I just referenced. These are Lipo batteries, okay? Lipo batteries are not a joke, okay? And what do I mean by that? There's a lot of instances of fires and stuff and crazy things happening, okay? Look, these are all inside of what you call a Lipo fireproof bag, right? Or, you know, I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be a Lipo bag, but just a fireproof bag, right? And this is rated on Amazon. Other people have tested it. I trust it. It looks pretty cool. And this is where I keep all my batteries. And of course, you're gonna want to get yourself educated on battery charging, okay? And I'm not gonna do a good job, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and shout out to Joshua Bardwell, and you know, shout out to his video on Lipo batteries. You can watch that. But the main thing I'm gonna show you here is, this is the ViFly Whoopster 3. This is arguably the best tiny whoop charger in the world. You're gonna need at least a 40-watt USB-C, which is probably the most common. And then you got all these other options and XT60. And nah, I ain't got that, but let's plug it in. Plug it in, bam. And we're gonna see a few different things here. Is it gonna show? It's not gonna show, but let me describe it. So on the left, we've got amperage. In the middle, we've got voltage. And on the right, we've got targeted voltage, or what we're targeting to set the voltage to charge to. We're gonna go ahead and plug a battery in here. And obviously you're gonna wanna make sure it fits right. Fits like Legos. But once you've got a battery plugged in here, it will tell you the voltage of that battery. Now, that is the current voltage that's in this Lipo battery. The left right here, so you're able to set the voltage, right? 3.8 to 4.2 volts is the general range of 0 to 100%. Okay, there's options to set it to 4.35 all the way down to 3.8. Okay, 4.35 is a bit too much, and it's a bit risky. Amperage, it's the rate of electricity pretty much that you're allowing into the battery at the same time. Too much of that and it will blow up. You see on the front of the battery here, it says 550 mAh. That is the milliamp hours of the battery. You're not going to want to exceed too much. Pretty much the general rule of thumb is to not exceed that much far above the milliamp rating. If you were to put, you know, 500 being 0.5, 1000 being 1 amp. Okay, so just let's say you had a 1000 milliamp battery. I don't know how many cell size that is, but you're going to want to go ahead and set that to 1 amp, and that's pretty much the rating that you're going to be able to charge that. Any rating below that number, you're going to be able to still charge, but it will go slower. 550, I like to charge at 0.5 amps. I hold this button to start, and it will start the charge. It's already fully charged, so it beeps and indicates to me that it's fully charged. and that is the end. Do not charge your batteries to 4.2 volts and leave it there. If you're gonna storage charge it, drop them down to 3.8 volts and let the Whoopster V3, this thing, discharge the battery, okay? And if you're curious about anything else, or if you have a different charger, or if you're doing this and that and all this other stuff where you're not able to see these numbers, you're pretty much putting your battery at risk every single time, because there's no saying what the voltage is that the battery is trying to, that the charger is trying to charge the battery to, especially if there's no display on it. So that's my little spiel. Hopefully I try to be fast with it, but be careful with Lipo batteries. They will blow up unless you know what you're talking about, and I barely know what I'm talking about. But these small single cell batteries, okay, they're a little less dangerous, but that doesn't mean that they're not dangerous. So please take that as word of advice. Listen to the experts out there in Lipo battery safety, okay? Make sure you always have fireproof bags to put these batteries in, and make sure whenever you do charge these batteries that you're putting them in a safe place, charging them like in a garage or somewhere that if it catches fire, you are not gonna lose the entirety of every single thing that you ever owned in your life, like your house or something like that, which is terrible. So please be safe with these Lipo batteries, and on to the next tip. How the hell did you guys get in there? You're gonna crash a lot. So just be okay with that. And try and be as close as you can to the drone, at least in the beginning stages, because once you lose it, you're gonna lose it for good, especially with how small these things are. Breaking your drone after a crash is part of it, okay? Get ready to buy a bunch of parts that you aren't super sure if you're gonna use all of them, and yeah, it's a hobby. I mean, what? You spend money, okay, and you fix it. You break it and you fix it. It's part of it, okay? There's not a lot of drone repair shops. Ain't no customer service gonna take care of you. Get yourself a soldering kit and YouTube and figure out how the fuck to fix some of these things, and realize that's part of it. It's not a bad thing if you break it, but keep a backup quad, just saying. This brings me to my last tip. Stay open-minded, have fun, and make sure, obviously, try and be patient, okay? You're not gonna fly the best when you start. You're not gonna be able to fix it that well when you fix it. And you're not gonna be able to do every trick in the book, okay? But just take it easy, all right? Stay tuned. Maybe we'll do some trick tutorials. But see, I gotta get I gotta get better at flying first, and that I kind of have to do my own. I gotta do the steps that I put in my own video. Thanks for watching, guys.